Hi everyone, my name is Gutierrez. I'm going to be discussing the video for the Week 15 Summative project presentation for a professional practice development plan. The concept of ethical morals and conduct is a challenging task to integrate in a world full of corruption and distrust. The different summative project phases cover different important factors concerning ethical decision making. Phase 1 introduced the definition of values and discussed the different forms of these values like professionalism, personal, and organizational. These values are apparent in the education field that assist teachers to maintain a strong decision-making approach. I learned how each of these views influence the perspective of implementing an honest method in ethical behavior. Phase 2 discussed the concept of reflective practice with a concentration of balancing ethical egoism with the desires of the patient and their needs. It included 2 cases presented in the unit that dealt with a greater need for self-awareness and self-evaluation when dealing with these challenging situations. I was able to grasp that there should always be a time of evaluation and further reassessment when dealing with myself and others' perspective. Phase 3 of the Summative project talked about the importance of a mentoring program to help entry-level teachers understand the worlds of education and the role of educators. It further discussed how vital it is for mentor-mentee relationships to be strong and full of communication to address areas of improvement. I learned that teachers should always be aware of new rules and guidelines to be ethically successful in their classroom, school, and community. I also learned that professional socialism plays a key role in teachers growing in their career and properly diminish moral distress and ethical dilemmas. I know that I had a mentor when I started my first year teaching, and if I didn't have that, I think I would have had a harder time trying to adjust to the world of education and learning, okay, what is correct in our school, what is correct in our district, and to be able to follow through from there. And then phase 4 encompassed how ethical behavior is a contributing factor to bring about effective leadership in educators. It examined how professional development aids teachers to stay knowledgeable of new principles being implemented so that they and their students can grow in their ethical perspective. I learned that role modeling is a concept and is fundamental to maintain ethical behavior in the school setting. I also learned that teachers have an incredible influence and thus promote a strong sense of upholding core values critical to ethical decision making. It was very interesting to see this when I was trying to finish up the assignment about the whole concept of role modeling and how the impact of a teacher can do so much to a student and their walk in an ethical education. And so it was very interesting to see the type of leadership that educators as well as people who are in healthcare have an impact on the people around them. I've grown tremendously in my outlook of ethical reflection as an educator. I've analyzed my interactions with my students, administrators, and staff, and learned how to maintain an ethical mindset anytime an inconvenience occurs. I've learned how important ethical leadership is to my own growth and to my students and their outlook on ethics. I think that this course has really shaped my view on how I look at things in my career and just people around me. I think it's helped shape me into a better teacher. The quote, ethics education is not about teaching you how to be ethical. It is about learning to make better decisions. It's a very important thing to consider. I'm excited and what I learned from this quote is that I'm excited to be a higher education professor in a couple of years, and I would love to have the opportunity to teach an ethics class. I would love to impart knowledge regarding ethical decision making to the younger generation. This is not done to mandate ethical behavior, but to change their perspective and be aware of the impact of their decisions. And I think it's crucial to be able to showcase this kind of ethical behavior as a professor, as an educator, and to show our students, like how the quote said, not to think ethically, but to just analyze things and the way that people approach certain situations, and from there you're able to make better decisions. And so I think it's super important. Like I said, going back to the influence of a teacher, I think it's some teachers don't really understand that. And I think before I took this course, I knew that as a teacher, I was going to have, my students, if I give them a good remark or something bad, like, yeah, it could affect them, but just the way that you approach things, are you looking out for yourself? Are you looking out for your students? What are my values? What are the school's values? Am I demonstrating that in my class? Am I demonstrating that with my interactions with others? And so it has been a big eye opener. And again, I'm not just saying this because of the video, but I really, really do think that this ethics course has taught me on how to broaden my perspective and to analyze my interactions with everyone in order for me to bring about ethical decision making in every step that I take. It was great to interact with all of you throughout the semester, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you.